And we're live here on the LI Sports Network for a varsity matchup between Patchogue-Med and St. Anthony's. The Friars 8-1-1 coming into this game, and the Raiders still looking for their first win of the season at 0-11. Patchogue-Med giving up 8.2 goals per game. St. Anthony's giving up 2.2. They have a stingy defense. The Raiders scoring 1.3 per game while the Friars scoring 5.3. So their offense a little down from what it was last year, but their defense definitely as good, if not better. As the Raiders will start off with control, forcing it into the offensive end, lifted away. Catallo hits it to the near side. Azariti bringing it in, tries to sweep it into the slot on the backhand. Spiked off his stick by Buck. Travels up the wall, but not out. Offers Sorrell in the slot. Looking to the left circle, trying to feed it over to Catallo. Couldn't pull the cord in time. Gets it back, now feeds Catallo. Catallo looking middle, slides it in front, they score. Friars find a goal on their first shift. It's 1-0 St. Anthony's. Puck drop back at center ice. Valsic getting the start for St. Anthony's. Aguirres for the Raiders as a puck was sent streaking back on net. Busa wasn't able to tap it on. Comes around for Budicavoli, taken away. Jack Nichols down at his own goal line. Vignato trying to step up into the right wing corner. Busa works it past him, and the Friars once again skate forward. Carrasco gives it off. Wide shot. Around the boards. Serenato tried to turn the corner and was forced out of the zone, down and for an icing. 13:29 left in the first period. Goal from Jack Sorrell, assisted by Thomas Azariti and Anthony Catallo. .50-50 battle won by the Friars on the far side. Daniel Smith trying to spike it into the offensive end. Taken back by Ranieri, looked up the ice, but Smith got back in time to break up the long pass. Down for Norris. Back for it is Buck. Nice couple of moves around at the Raiders' goal line. Ranieri in the left wing corner. 3 minutes gone by here in the first period. Ranieri with it again, looking to fade down to the goal line, shoved it back in front. Stop made by Valsic. Vignato won the face-off forward. Karams around the boards. Peter Kelly trying to force it up and out. Gets it past the far point, and here comes Kelly. Pulls up on his skates, has options at the blue line, swipes it across. Shot upcoming, save made, and the rebound spills into the slot. Second option, but no third. Vignato, a tap pass to clear the zone. Budicavoli with it again. Stick broken on the goal right there, so Budicavoli has a little bit of extra space to work with. Off to the slot. Budicavoli still with it to the goal line, trying to center it. Hit it off his skate. Rims free for the Raiders. Can't find it up and out, though. Now down the ice. As Valsic knows this one's going to go for an icing with 11:13 remaining in the first. Azzariti looking to send it down the wall, broken away by Pat Med. Friars will give it back to their D-core. Whipped up the ice for Azzariti. Can't dump it in past the blue line, but it's reloaded quickly by Sorrell. Sorrell spinning in the circle. And the Raiders playing good defense over the last couple of minutes. Vignato a big part of that. Jacobson angled away. Sorrell comes back for it, has Azzariti off on his right side. Sorrell will take it all the way up to Catallo. Azzariti breaking it down the slot for a shot. Save is made, or it's going to be a goal. Signal from the referee came through. St. Anthony's up 2-0. Possible to really tell from that angle with our camera. But obviously the referee coming behind to give a clear signal. We have a 2-0 game. Puck wobbling at the blue line. Catallo gives it off. Azzariti looking for Sorrell, gave it away. Doherty looking for a home run pass. Had Fauci up there at the blue line, but St. Anthony's not allow something like that to go through, and it will go down the ice. This time for St. Anthony's icing. Raiders will go to the offensive end. Tallo getting the goal unassisted at 10:25, following up on the Jack Sorrell goal, where he assisted on it. So Anthony Catallo already up to 2 points. Shot banks up high and off the end glass. Quick turnaround shot, wasn't far off from Anthony. Nick Busa battling through a crowd. Poked out now by the Raiders. Centering feed onto the tape. Carrasco couldn't let it fly. Go back onto Valsic. He'll look to play this with his own paddle. Almost forced into a turnover as two Friar teammates tie each other up. Centering feed out in front, they score. Friars make it 3 with 8:57 remaining in the first. Krasker gets the finishing touch there. Little over a minute between those two St. Anthony's goals. Rainieri paddles it through that crowd. Friars right back into the offensive end with Budakavoli, his snapshot a little bit off target. Taken by Schlitt, lifted off his stick into center ice. Taking a look at the recent games for both of these teams. Pat Med coming off a rough run to Smithtown Hauppauge as they create a opportunity right here. Shot never came through. Definitely had Valsic trying to tread for his life. Buck, stick poked from behind by Budakavoli. Up to the blue line. Poke check missed and a second one, but Valsic. Nice little glove catch right there. St. Anthony's, on the other hand, also played a game recently against Smithtown Hauppauge, who was undefeated going into that game, and were not undefeated going out of it, as St. Anthony's took that victory 5-3. The Friars are 4-1-0 in their last 5 games. Their tie going against Middle Country, 3-3. Obviously, ties here in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League mean you made it all the way through the 4-minute 4-on-4 without a goal. There are no shootouts until you get to the first and second round of the playoffs. Puck exchanges hands a couple of times at center ice. I believe the only loss for the Friars so far this season was against a team we saw just now. East Islip all the way back on October 8th as a shot down low from Schlitt will be saved. East Islip taking a nice victory against Connetquot Sayville, 6-2 the final score. Shot with a rebound, comes out in front. Schlitt goes wide with it right. Another turnover created by the Friars. Can't get a shot off this one. Batted up to the blue line and carried through. Couple of nice passes and it's Schlitt again, but called offsides by the referees. We'll take a face-off. 6:26 left. Thomas Azaridi leading his team in goals so far this season with a total of 11. Face-off won by the Friars. This is Sorrell down Main Street. His shot going a little too high above the crossbar. Valsic communicating with his team that he's going to play this one himself. Long saucer finds its way onto the tape of Azaridi. Here's Azaridi looking for a highlight. Goes straight into the glove of the Pat Med netminder for another whistle. Face-off one, in front, shot. Goes through the 5-hole. Another goal for the Friars. Anthony Catala with his second of the game, assisted by Zach Sorrell. So Sorrell now up to 2 points as well. Just about 10 minutes gone by here in the first period. Anthony Sorrentino leads this Friars team in points. He's on the score sheet so far once with an assist, and right again there. Speak of him and he shall score. Top right corner. Now 5-0 St. Anthony's. Friars strong on the draw again. Play it to their D-core and work it up ice. Sorrentino with it again. Excuse me, make that Carrasco. And another shot will ring off the bar and go into the back of the net. Friars up to 6. Just under 5 minutes to play in the first period. Raced ahead by Catallo. Wraps around the net and feeds it all the way back. Valsic will once again touch it up. Great passes. Jordan Valsic. Long shot hits some traffic from Kelly and will be gloved away. Busa getting the most recent goal, assisted by Budicavoli and Carrasco. Sorrentino led his team in points coming into this game, as well as assists. That was just his 3rd goal of the season. Long shot off to the right, spills up the boards. Carrasco passing it back for another wrister. Another solid save. St. Anthony's definitely ramping up their form. Again, they're the only team to have taken down Smithtown Hauppauge this season. Kind of just shows you how much parity there's been this year in the varsity division of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. Go ahead and look at the standings. Smithtown still on top with 10-1 record. The East Islip aren't far behind them at 10-2. St. Anthony's and Sachem and Northport, all great teams hot on their trail. East Islip lost to Smithtown but beat St. Anthony's. St. Anthony's beat Smithtown but lost to East Islip. East Islip, I believe, also dropped a game to Northport. Northport played an extremely close game against Smithtown Hauppauge at the beginning of the season that went all the way to overtime. That's the one overtime win that the Bulls have on the year. This time last year, you kind of had St. Anthony's, you had Smithtown Hauppauge. It's the top 2 teams. Really felt like you could predict both of them getting to the finals again. They both did. Won all 3 games. St. Anthony's eventually claiming it. Both of them went to states. But this year, you never really know. You might get Sachem in the mix. You might get Northport Huntington in the mix. East Islip definitely think that they're going to be in the mix, as a couple more shots will ring around. All of it to say that St. Anthony's, as they collect another goal to make it 7 in the first period. Definitely going to have to be on top of their game if they want to claim another SCHSHL title. as Thomas Azzariti will hop onto it, flying down the slot. Lifted off of his stick and back to Catallo. Dylan Schlitt scoring the most recent goal, assisted by Joe Mikletish. Azzariti, a nice couple of moves. Ryan Riggins was also tied in points for this St. Anthony's team coming into this game, and he's done it with less games played. Ryan up to 15 points in 7 games, 5 goals, 10 assists. Haven't seen him on the ice. I don't think he's dressed for tonight. My eyes are getting old, so maybe they've just eluded me. Sorrentino obviously moving up a little bit from his 15 points coming into this game. Same with Azzariti, same with Sorrell, but that's kind of your top 4 scorers on this St. Anthony's roster. Carrasco definitely moving up in that list as a breakaway opportunity is shut down by Valsic. Under $1:30 in the first period. Budicavoli, a stretch pass. It's up to Sorrell. Fakes a slap shot. Dancing with Azzariti. Under a minute to play in the first period. Official score is 7-0. Sorry about that. Nice hit from Mikletish. Wiggles it around the boards onto the tape of Azzariti. Bottled up for a second, then looking to pass it off. It's Catallo with it now. Jockeyed off of his. Around for Sorrell. Walks to the blue line, looking to send a pass. Taken away by the Raiders as they try to get going. North with 24 seconds left in the first period. Long pass will go into the neutral zone. Sorrentino trying to beat the buzzer. One last shot will be saved, and we'll go to our first intermission here on the LI Sports Network and be right back for the second 15. Middle period on the docket here on the LI Sports Network. St. Anthony's scoring 7 in the first and giving up none in response. Control this lead in its entirety. Had a couple of games already played here on the North Rink, here at the rinks, here in Hauppauge. 6-2 the final score for the first varsity matchup of tonight. That was East Islip versus Connect-Quad-Sayville. East Islip picking up their 10th win of the season, going to 10-2. And the T-Birds falling to 4-8. And before that, it was a developmental matchup that was surprisingly a 1-0 goal after 45 minutes. It was the league's best Sachem Braves versus the 2-7 Longwood Lions. The Lions stuck in there the entire time. Got some beautiful saves, I should say, from Skanga. Sorrentino pushes it around the wall for the Friars as they have some nice offensive zone time to start off. Have some games going on behind us as well. I know there was a St. Anthony's Gold versus St. Anthony's Black matchup. Those two teams playing well in the junior varsity division. And that game ultimately going over to St. Anthony's, their black team, who are now 9-1-0. So St. Anthony's Gold, on the other hand, 7-3-0. Another junior varsity matchup likely in progress, and it is in the third period of that game. 4-3 the current score between West Islip and Northport Huntington. The Lions on top by that one tally. Most recent goal from Alex Jablonski as the Friars will find their 8th of the night. Back to center ice. Friars bring it into the offensive end as we get a couple of hits for the Raiders trying to physically stay in this game. Friars pepper one on the net. Rebound pops out to the slot. New York Giants playing ye old rival, and the New England Patriots. Pats up 30-7 right now with 4:09 left in the third quarter. I would have thought the Patriots would have been 10-2 this year. I would have expected the Giants to be 2-10. Another centering feed, lost in the blue paint for a second. Long pass. Ends up as a shot on goal, and we'll get another whistle. Knicks are off today. Had a nice win against the Raptors yesterday, though. 116-94 the final score there. Raptors were on a long win streak as well as a drive from the blue line will dribble off to the left side. Knicks definitely shut that down. Still playing without OG Anunoby, I believe, out with an injury. Deuce McBride's been playing fantastic. Same thing with Mitchell Robinson. Look like the best New York team right now. Just over 10 minutes remaining in the second period. Anthony Catallo leading his team in points right now with a total of 3 on the game. 2 of them goals, 1 assist. The only player for the Friars with 2 goals. Sorrentino has 2 points in total, 1 goal, 1 assist. Budicavoli has 2 assists. Carrasco has a goal and an assist. Same thing with Sorrell. As we'll get a whistle for another score for the Friars, making it their 9th of the night. Azaridi getting that most recent tally. Right now listed as unassisted, but comes through. And it'll be Nichols on the assist. Kerher has 1 goal on the game for 1 point. Dylan Schlitt has 1 goal for 1 point. An assist for Nichols and Miklitish for their 1 point. And Busa with 1 goal, the last Friar to have a point tonight. My name's Kevin Broderick, joined by Paul Trentini on the camera here for the LI Sports Network. Go follow us on Instagram if you haven't already. Would love to see you liking some more pictures. We post last night's best for all of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League days. You can see your son, your friends, your brother, your sister, niece, nephew, grandchild, scoring some of their best goals, maybe making a nice save. Definitely had some great saves today. Our very own Wally Mitcho puts those edits together from the very highlights that we clip live here for our instant replay. The Friars just playing a control game right now. Looking to wheel it up and shimmy past some checks on the far side. About half of this game gone by. Not a lot of NHL games today. Penguins beat the Flyers 5-1. Devils lost 5-3 to the Blue Jackets as the Metro continues to be a logjam of teams. Sabres beats the Jets 5-1. Who would have thought that? Ducks, who are having a good season, up 3-1 against the Blues, who still trying to find an identity. And the Sharks are on top of the Utah Mammoth, 1-0 with 14 minutes left in the first period. That Ducks game is in period 3 with 9:22 left there. Rangers don't play until tomorrow at 7 against the Stars, and the Islanders play the red-hot Tampa Bay Lightning, also at 7. As Valsic will go off for a change, tagging in his partner and Ben to come into the game with 6:54 remaining in the second, so obviously halfway through. And then your next stop, you switch out the goaltenders as Jordan and Ben will look for a combined shutout here against the Raiders. Other news, something more breaking. Devin Williams signing with the Mets. Long blast, good glove save. Devin Williams never really impressed as a Yankee. Can't imagine Yankee fans are too upset about it. Don't know how the Mets fans feel about it. Maybe you lose Edwin Diaz. Who knows? I definitely don't know. Friars take it back in their own zone. It's Busa with it right now, cutting through a couple of sticks. Busa past the blue line on his backhand. Curls up, feeds it backwards. They rotate it quickly to the right side, and it's poked away by the Raiders, potentially with a little bit of room to skate, but just barely mishandled on the breakaway opportunity as the clock continues to tick down. Turnover in front, and it's sailed wide off to the right side by the Raiders. Definitely their best opportunity of the game. East to west pass, going through a lot of traffic. Game that will be here on the LI Sports Network in just over a week's time. Stony Brook ACHA Division I versus Farmingdale ACHA Division II here at the rinks. That will definitely be an interesting game for both teams. Farmingdale definitely have some strong players that can hang with Stony Brook. Question is, do they have enough of those players to hang with Stony Brook? Obviously, you have the divisional difference. Those teams really haven't met a whole ton because Farmingdale has been in the AAU the last couple of years. AAU, not really a thing right now, as the clock ticking down to 4 minutes left. And really, besides the Long Island University Sharks, those are the two best teams, two best hockey team, or college teams, I should say, on the island. So that will definitely be a fun matchup. As the puck will sit on top of the net. Awkward right there for both teams, but we will get a whistle with 3:56 remaining. Face off, one to the blue line. Friars will turn it over and look to get back onto the defensive end in transition. Hemmed around the boards. Make a nice pass. So open space. Catalo still leading the way with 3 points for his team, but a lot more of the Friars with 2 points now. Sorrell, the most recent to join that tally. Budicavoli with 2 points, but both of them assists, as there will be another goal for the Friars, and they'll tack on their 10th. Daniel Smith will get on the board. Assisted by Mikletish. Nice little move. Rainieri into a crowd was separated from the puck. 13 minutes gone by in the second period, meaning there's just above 17 to play in the rest of the game. The puck will be forced out, freezing us with 2:21. Schlitt trying to bully his way through. Taken away. 2 minutes left in the second. Turnover. Sorrell taps it towards the net. It's poked aside. Sorrell walking up the wall. Now stopping high slot. Slap shot does go on net. Rebound carries off to the far boards. Another wrister from the blue line, hits too many sticks. Stretch pass, not going to get through the Friars. Tap pass off the boards. Budicavoli turns it over. Raiders trying to find their first for a shot save made. Puck sent down the length of the ice, and we'll get a whistle from the referees. 55.9 to play in the middle period. Shot hit a leg out in front for the Friars. They were able to clear behind it. 60 seconds remaining in the second as the shot will ring off the crossbar. That was a lot of heat behind it for Catallo as he was hunting his hat trick goal. Raiders now opening the ice up a little bit more. Catallo might poke himself into a breakaway. It's Buck with him. Catallo on the shot save made. Definitely looking for his hat trick. Puck walked down the wall. Up top for Busse again as he'll cycle it. Held down low by Azzariti. Hands off. Another wrap attempt for Catallo. On a long journey right now up to the high blue line. Catallo still with it, looking for a tip down low as we'll hit triple zeros here in the second period. Be right back here on the LI Sports Network for the start of the third. And we're back on the LI Sports Network. A running clock will be enforced here in the third period between St. Anthony's and Patchogue-Medford. Friars looking for their 9th win of the season. It will be the 12th loss in a row for the Raiders. Sorrentino wrapping around, has Kelly in front of him. Scoops it on the backhand, but the puck was dead along the boards. A long stretch pass for the Raiders. Couldn't weave it through for a full breakaway, so the Friars get back in time to shut down the play with 40 seconds gone by here in the third. Pass up to the opposite blue. Sorrentino pulls on the brakes, looks back to the top of the line. Pass whipped down low. Had one varsity game on before this. That was East Islip versus Connetquot-Sayville. 6-2 the final score there in favor of the Chiefs, who are now 10-2-0 here in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. It was 6 uninterrupted goals for East Islip after they gave up the first 2 to the team captain, Joseph Villani. Villani scored 1 4-on-4 and then scored a second goal coming out of the penalty box, of all things. Puck was loose in the slot for a second, found and snuffed out by St. Anthony's as they'll play it down the length of the ice and look for a quick change. Giants clawing back a little bit of the deficit against New England. It's now a 30-15 game with 10:46 left in the fourth quarter. Paul Trentini, my cameraman, put a bet on the game with a little bit of free money he got. I'm not really a bettor. I don't know how it works. But his bet was for Jackson Dart to score a touchdown, rushing touchdown. So hopefully Paul got that. Checking the box score. I don't think he got it yet. Dart just 16 yards on 2 carries, long at 12. Not a bad rush. 13 for 17, 99 yards and a TD, sacked once. Four minutes gone by here in the third period. Friars continue their streak of success here in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. Obviously at 8-1-1 on the season, it's kind of hard to find a time where you weren't successful. But the last 5 games specifically have been some nice wins. 11-1 against West Islip, 5-4 against the T-Birds, 4-3 against KPC, and the crown jewel of them all against their biggest rival in the Smithtown Hauppauge Bulls took them down 5-3 back on November 17th. Now into the month of December, St. Anthony's and the Bulls well into their mid-season forms. Pat Med getting close to their first win back on November 3rd in a 4-2 loss to West Islip. Raiders still just trying to find at least one goal here on the Friars. Don't want to get shut out twice by the same team. Still no St. Anthony's player with more than 4 points on the game. It's still Catalo leading the way with his 2 goals and 1 assist. Was definitely hunting a hat trick a little bit earlier. And a nice slap shot. And again on a follow-up on a rush. Both teams will make some changes as they work their way back out on the ice. With half this period gone by, just 7:30 remaining. Final for the game behind us, West Islip JV with a 5-4 win against Northport Huntington. The other JV matchup of today interests St. Anthony's fans. It was a St. Anthony Team Black versus Team Gold matchup. Obviously the Friars with 2 different junior varsity teams, and that game was 2-1 the final in favor of Team Black as they moved on to 10-1-0 on the season, and Team Gold fell down to 7-4. First goal was for Patrick Darby, assisted by Andrew Sevelos. Followed up by Jason Matuza to tie the game, and then Darby had the winner from Keelan Lawler with 5:03 left in the 3rd period. So Darby with 2 big goals to take away bragging rights in the battle of the Friars. Budakavoli, a nice little saucer pass. Couldn't get it over to Schlitt. Down to 5:30 to play here in this 3rd period. Once again, my name is Kevin Broderick, joined by Paul Trentini on the camera. Call him Paulie Panasonic. He's that good. Does all this one-handed. Can you believe it? 5:12 left in the 3rd period as the Friars continue to just try to tick this clock down for their 9th win. Go follow us on the LI Sports Network on Instagram. stay up to date with all of your Suffolk County High School Hockey League needs. You could also subscribe on YouTube, put on notifications so you never miss one of your kids' games, or your brother or your friends. As nice move out in front will be neatly tucked into the back of the net. Nice moves from Thomas Azariti. Down to 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Official score right now, 12-0 in favor of the Friars. With that goal, Thomas Azariti tying Catalo for points on the game. Azariti with 3 with 2 goals and 1 assist, and Catalo the same. Pass up to the high slot for a shot glove save. Turnover. Shot rings off a bar. For all the Jets fans out there, I see you. I'm with you. Got a nice win. I do hate the fact that the Patriots are good again. It's not fair. Long pass. Will go down for an icing. As we tick under 1:20 to play. 7:47 still left in that football game between the Patriots and the Giants. 30-15 the score. Patriots have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 37, so likely going to kill the rest of the clock on this drive. As a shot will be saved by the Raiders. Under 60. As we get ready to close out this Monday night here on the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. You're watching the LI Sports Network. St. Anthony's will be improving their record to 9-1-1 with a dominant win against the Patchogue-Medford Raiders, who will fall down to 0-12, still journeying for their first victory in this varsity season. The Friars continue to roll, trying to get as much momentum as possible off the backs of their win against their rival, Smithtown Hauppauge. Matchup we saw last year in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League Finals. On behalf of myself, Kevin Broderick, Paul Trentini, Magnus Healy, who was on the South Rink earlier for us, Ryan Brannigan, and Wally Mitchell, thank you so much for making us a part of your night. And the final score, St. Anthony's 12. Patchogue-Medford, nothing.